What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here to do my second video, free agency video for the offensive line. Because as you know, yesterday I did a video that was taking a look at the possible free agents for right tackles. And of course, as you guys know, I will say it again though, I did not look at guards at all for free agency. And the reason for that is because I think that right guard is solid with Robert Hunt, and between, Eichenberg, Dieter, Jackson, Kinley, all these guys, Robert Jones, you should be able to find somebody that can fill in that left guard spot. And if it was up to me, I would be getting, two tackles in free agency, a left and a right tackle. I'd be paying buku dollars for that right tackle. But the thing is though, is you actually might not even necessarily have to pay the buku dollars for the right tackle, depending on who you get. And then maybe you could get a Taron Armstead, which we will talk about today, for your left tackle spot. Anyway, and then there are some centers, because today I'm going to be doing left tackle and center. There are some centers that I would like to bring in that you'd probably have to pay a decent amount for, a couple of these guys. So we will take a look at all of those. Before I get into all of that, though, I do just want to let you know that I did the calculations, and it would seem that after I make today's video, I have 17 videos to make for free agency, including the breakdowns of the current players at each of the positions, and then, going into my videos for free agency and who to possibly target over the next 17 days. Free agency opens on the 16th. So I have 16 days to do 17 videos, although one of those videos will probably end up just landing on the 17th. We'll see if I can squeeze it in beforehand. If not, it's fine. It'll be just one video. But I do want to try and get all this in before free agency, because then free agency is going to open and we're actually going to start making moves, and so things will be decided. And obviously it's kind of pointless to put out, who should we target after they've already made moves and stuff like that. So I am going to be working hard to get all those videos out to you. It's going to be a good amount of stuff. I've already done most of the work. I've done all of the work when it comes to the free agents. I still do got to do some work when it comes to breaking down the current players on the roster at each of these positions, but not a problem. I will handle all of that. So you guys should be getting at least one video from me for the next 17 days. And then obviously there's going to be plenty of other news and stuff to talk about as well. And then, free agency is going to open with the new league year and stuff like that. So anyway, lots to talk about, lots to get into, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. And so first and foremost, I do want to start each of these videos off, the breakdowns, with my position rankings, just so you guys can be refreshed on my position rankings and how I see positions of need, the areas of need for this team. So my first area of need is offensive line, with tackles being top, and then center. Obviously, again, I don't have guards on the list. Then running back, wide receiver, linebacker being a true middle linebacker, defensive line, edge having a slight edge over tackle, quarterback, tight end, safety, quarterback being backup, and then a punter from the specialists category. So there you have it. Those are my current position rankings, and obviously until they, make changes, and until they actually, start signing guys and whatever, it should remain the same. And my, hopefully what I want to see happen is like I said, I want to see them, spend money and fill in those needs on the offensive line and free agency. That way in the draft, in the first 3 rounds, you can address those other needs: wide receiver, running back, and linebacker, that middle linebacker. And if things fall, nicely for the Dolphins, my dream scenario, and I will do a mock draft at some point, I'll do so. I think I probably will do at least one simulated mock draft just so that way I can show you guys my dream scenario, but that'll be more in the, later down the road in the, draft content that I will be making. So we are still obviously in the free agency portion because we got to get it done before free agency opens. So, but my dream scenario is Nakobe Dean at 29, and then we get our running back, whether it be Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, or Breece Hall with the number 50. By the way, I did check and verify. We do only have one second-round pick. So if we could get Nakobe Dean in the first round, 29th overall, and then Breece Hall, Isaiah Spiller, or Kenneth Walker, one of those guys at number 50th, which is very reasonable, especially with the way that all of these mock drafts appear to be, playing out in the way that the experts see everything, et cetera, et cetera. So, get that. And then in the third round, either get a wide receiver and or a offensive lineman, because I think we do have 2 third-round picks. I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. But anyway, so that would be my dream scenario. We'll see how it plays out. And that's, of course, obviously addressing offensive line in free agency. So, let's jump into this, and now we are going to get into my left tackles to start with. So, as you can see, my number one left, or not necessarily my number one, because Terron Armstead is in this list, and he would be my top choice if we are going to get a left tackle. He would most likely be my top choice, although Cam Robinson's not a terrible idea. Although he is a bit expensive. He is young, though, relatively young. But anyway, so... just the first one on this list, I guess, let's say. The first guy that I have on my list is Cam Robinson from Jacksonville. He's an unrestricted free agent at 27. He does have a pretty big cap number, although you could probably get that down a bit. You might not necessarily have to pay him that much. But yeah, so anyway, obviously measurables, combine scores, we don't really care about that, but it is good information to have, and it's in the video so you guys can look at it. Draft status, round 2, 34th overall in 2017. He's got 5 years in the league, all of which have been with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's got 61 games played, 61 started, 3,660 snaps with 732 per year, 16 sacks allowed with it, which is 3.2 per year, and 36 penalties, which is 7.2. So obviously got some things to clean up there. His grades weren't that great. Again, obviously, these are some of the reasons why you might be able to chip off some of that price tag if you were to get a guy like Cam Robinson. Anyway, so 2021 stats, he had 14 games, 14 started, 856 snaps, 1 sack allowed, and 5 penalties. His grades over his career so far have been on the 856 snaps from this season. He's got a 67.4 overall, 76.6 pass, and a 52.5 run blocking grade. In 2020, he had 973 snaps, 61.7 overall, 66.4 pass. Run blocking was 53.8, and that appears to be his weakness, generally speaking, because he's been all right in those other areas for the most part, but obviously still has a lot to work on if you go by the grades. 2019, 870 snaps, 54.8 overall, 63.8 pass, 48.2 run. 71 snaps, not very much in 2018, a 63.4 overall, 68.9 pass, and an 81.2 run. 890 snaps in his rookie season, 53.2 overall, 63.1 pass, and a 49.6 run. All right, and now we have Terron Armstead, who actually is in some void years of his contract. He is 31, so that is something to keep in mind, though. But if we are going to try and get a, really good left tackle, and because look, if we can get a really, like, if we could get Trent Brown or, Morgan Moses or one of those guys that I talked about yesterday at right tackle, those would all be really good guys to slot in there. And you might not actually even necessarily have to pay them like buku dollars, and maybe you could, put a little bit more into a Terron Armstead on the left. Whatever, all of that is up for, the front office to handle. That's their job to figure out how they're going to do these contracts. But in my opinion, they have to get at least 2 offensive linemen, if not 3 in free agency, and that being both tackles at a minimum, a new, a veteran, but new to the team, left and right tackle, and then I would also throw in a center. And however you divvy the money up, as long as you get those guys in the building, that's all I care about. You guys figure out how the money goes. But anyway, he is in some void years of his contract. He is 31, currently with an APY of 13 million. Here's his scores. Draft status, he was round 3, 75th overall in 2013. He's got 9 years in the league, all of which have been with the Saints. 97 games played, 93 started, 5,710 snaps, 634.4 snaps per year. That is something to be a little worried about, especially as he is getting older. But you could probably bank on Terran Armstead for a year, maybe 2, again. And that's part of this whole thing, right? Is that these veteran guys, not only are we severely lacking in the veteran leadership, but if we're keeping it real, they will be somewhat stopgap options in order to give you an opportunity to draft some guys over the next few years, and then develop them, right? But they will also give you that veteran experience and leadership so you can have those field generals to help develop these guys down in and down out, not just day in and day out with their coaching staff, right? So he's allowed 20 sacks, only 2.2 per year. That's pretty impressive. 29 penalties, 3.2 per year, right? Obviously the 9 years in the league. 8 games played, 8 games started this past season, 468 snaps, 1 sack allowed, 3 penalties. He has been to the Pro Bowl 3 times, and he did make second team All-Pro in 2018. So some interesting stuff there. And then, of course, when you look at his grades, his PFF grades, they do look pretty good overall. Seems to struggle a little bit in run blocking, as you can see, but not overall a worry there when it comes to him. Really just keeping him on the field is the main thing, right? Is making sure that you have him on the field for an entire season. But he's going to produce for you. In 2021, on those 468 snaps, he has a 75.9 overall grade with an elite score in the pass blocking, an 85.6. And honestly, that's really what we want, especially at the tackle positions. I know we're talking left tackle right now, and right tackle was yesterday, and that's the blind side. But at the tackle positions, that's really what you want, is the pass blocking a little bit more so. The interior guys, the guards, are the guys that you mostly give you the run blocking. Obviously, you want your tackles to be good at run blocking. I'm not saying you don't, but you can get away with it a little bit more, right? Because and especially too, because anyway, you get the idea. You want to be able to have that clean pocket and give him time. And, obviously edge rushers, they come from the edge. So generally speaking, so he's really good at that. Had a 64.1 run blocking grade in 2020 on 857 snaps and 86.3 overall, 87.1 pass, and a 77.5 run. 935 snaps in 2019 got him an 80.4 overall, 85 pass blocking, and a 65 actually, and that will be slightly upgraded in color to a 65.7 run blocking grade. And obviously, like I said, he's going to produce for you, and he's even going to give you elite status in these categories on a pretty regular basis, which it would be nice to see, provided he obviously stays on the field. In 2018, he had 602 snaps, 90.4 overall, 89.3 pass blocking grade. Actually, and by my metrics, this actually will get upgraded to an 83.6 run blocking grade, which is an elite grade, elite status grade. And his 541 snaps in 2017, a 75.8 overall, 81.6 pass blocking grade, and a 65.6, which I'm going to fix the color, goes to a green, 65.6 run blocking grade. In 2016, 397. And look, and that's the thing. It doesn't really seem to even matter if he does get a few snaps or a lot. Whatever snaps he gives you, he's going to give you a good performance. So 397 in 2016, 82.6 overall, 86.6 pass, and a 69 run. In 2015, 931 snaps, a 92.4 overall, 89.8 pass, and a 91.3 run blocking grade. In 2014, 839 snaps, overall of a 78.6, 78.9 pass, 72.6 run. Only 140 snaps in his rookie season, but it's his rookie year. Who cares? 2013, he got a 65.7 overall grade, a 64 pass, and a 73.3 run blocking grade. And there you have it for Terran Armstead. Now we have another guy, super old guy. He's been really good Overall, as you can see, we'll just take a quick preview. He's been pretty solid. He is obviously one of the older guys that I do have in any of these lists of potential free agents. So maybe not the guy. I would definitely go after a Terran Armstead before I go after a Dwayne Brown, especially because he does have a pretty, sizable cap hit as well. And if you're going to pay that money, I'd pay it to the guy who's 6 years younger, because he is 37, and who knows, he may not even want to play this upcoming season. Maybe he's like, all right, I'm ready to retire. But as of right now, he is still a guy to look at. He is currently with the Seahawks. Here are his combine, pro day, and stuff like that. He was a round 1 pick in 2008, 26 overall, 14 years in the league. Started off with the Texans from 2008 to 16. In 17, he was with the Texans for a bit, then went to the Seahawks, and then ever since 2018 to now, he's been with the Seahawks. Career stats, he's got 203 games, 203 started, 13,100 snaps, so a lot of wear and tear on those tires, but he has managed to stay on the field for his entire career for the most part, 935.7 snaps per year. So basically a full-time load just about every year. 53 sacks allowed, 3.8 per season, 66 penalties, 4.7. So he's a little worse in those categories on a per year basis than Terran Armstead, but still not terrible. 2021, he had 17 games played, 17 started with 969 snaps, 8 sacks allowed, and 5 penalties. He has been to the Pro Bowl 5 times in 2012, 13, 14, 17, and this past year in 2021. And he has been an All-Pro, first-team All-Pro in 2012. He made second-team All-Pro in 11 and 18. So he does have a pretty good pedigree. Again, I would consider bringing him in. Definitely a guy you should do your due diligence on. But if I could get Terran Armstead, I'd probably bring him in over Dwayne Brown, but definitely a good option here to look at. So for his grades, on those 969 snaps this season, he had a 71.5 overall, 69.9 pass, and a 69.6 run. On 1,048 snaps last year, the 2020 season, he had an 87.3 overall, 84 pass, and an 81.7 run. 793 snaps in 19, gave him a 74.1 overall, 76.3 pass, and a 64.4 run. 2018, 1,067 snaps, 83 overall, which actually does just meet the threshold for the elite status as far as I was concerned. 86.7 pass and a 73.5 run. 620 snaps in 2017. 74.1 overall, 80.1 pass, 62.1 run. And again, pretty consistent in not just his snap count, but also his grades and his performance, right? So 2016, 776 snaps, 86 overall, 81 pass, 80.9 run. 909 and 15, 79.6 overall, 83 pass, and a 72.9 run. 1,104 snaps in 14, 80.2 overall, 84.4 pass, 72.9 run. 956 in 13, 84.7 overall, 85.3 pass, 79.1 run. 1,107 snaps in 12, 88.2 overall, 81.2 pass, 88.2 run. In 2011, he had 1,056 snaps, 81.7 overall, 83.5 pass, and a 75.4 run. And he is going to show you some elite production in various categories as well pretty regularly. So again, something that would be very, very wonderful to have on our offensive line for like the first time in fucking forever. So 2010, he had 825 snaps, 76.9 overall, 72 pass, 79.6 run, 1,035 in 2009, 73.3 overall, 66.5 pass blocking, and a 79.9 in run blocking. And then 835 snaps in 2008, gave him a 66.8 his rookie season overall, 56 pass, and a 75.9 run. And that's obviously his worst season, and it was his rookie season, so it is what it is. You now have, we come up to Eric Fisher from Indianapolis. He's also in some of his void years. 31, again, I would take Terran Armstead or even Dwayne Brown over Eric Fisher, but somebody to take a look at with an 8,380,000 current APY. Here are his measurables and stuff. Draft status, he was a first overall pick in 2013, 9 years in the league, 2013 to 2020 with the Chiefs, Colts, from 2021 this past year and is currently with them. 132 games played, 128 started, 8,052 snaps, 894.7 per year. So for the most part has stayed on the field. 43 sacks allowed, 4.8 per year, 55 penalties, 6.1. His 2021 stats: 15 games played, 15 started, 874 snaps, 7 sacks allowed, 8 penalties. And he has made the Pro Bowl twice and is also a Super Bowl champion in 2019, Super Bowl 54. As far as his Pro Football Focus grades in 2021, 874 snaps, gave him a 68.2 overall, a 61 pass blocking grade, 73.3 run, 1,049 snaps in 2020, and 80 overall, 76.1 pass, 72.7 run. 2019, he had 467 snaps, 64.5 overall, 74.2 pass, 52.4 run. 2018, 1,042 snaps, 73.4 overall, 72.5 pass, 71.1 run. 2017, 961 snaps, 69.1 overall, 75.4 pass, and a 60 overall run grade. 1,022 snaps in 2016, 77.3 overall, 72.6 pass, 78.8 run. 2015, 833 snaps, 71.8 overall, 72.9 pass, 69.7 run. 2014, he had 1,012 snaps, 67.2 overall, 66.3 pass, and a 69.8 run. And 2013, he had 792 snaps, 57.8 overall, 49.5 pass, and a 67.1 run blocking grade. We now do get to one of our youngsters in this list, relatively young, I guess, right? Because he's 26. He has been in the league for a few years, but he is a young cat, comparatively at least to some of these older dudes. Orlando Brown from the Kansas City Chiefs. He currently has a under $1 million cap hit or current APY. Here's his measurables, scores, etc., etc. He was a round 3 pick, 83 overall in 2018. He's got 4 years in the league, 2018 to 2020. He was with the Ravens and with the Chiefs from 2021 to present. Career stats: 64 games, 58 started, 4,019 snaps, 1,004.75 per year. So he has stayed on the field each and every year. Hasn't really missed any time yet. Obviously, he is just coming off of his rookie contract, so that is something to keep in mind. You would have to give him a deal, and it probably would actually be a pretty decent deal because he's had pretty decent performance. He's stayed on the field. He's made it to the Pro Bowl for 3 years straight, right? 10 sacks allowed, 2.5 per season, 18 penalties, 4.5. Not terrible in those categories, right? This past year, 16 games, 16 started with 1,127 snaps, 4 sacks allowed, 7 penalties. And from 19 to 21, he's made it to the Pro Bowl. So every year except for his rookie year, he's been to the Pro Bowl. So, what you would consider now, this, if you were to do this may be something that you would do for a more long-term outlook for the team, right? Whereas some of these older veterans would be, 1 or 2 year stopgaps to help you. As long as they get one crusty veteran at left or right tackle, I would be perfectly fine with them getting like a mid-tier veteran as far as time served. When I say mid-tier, to be clear, not mid-tier as in quality player, but mid-tier as in like how long they've been in the league and then how old they are. Because this guy is a veteran, right? He's been in the league for 4 years, but he's obviously just coming off of his rookie contract. So he is still young at only, 26 years of age. As for his grades in 2021 on those 1,127 snaps, he has a 75.2 overall, 75.9 pass, and a 67 run. 1,027 snaps in 2020, a 76.5 overall, 76.7 pass, and a 73 run. And like I said, showed you some solid performance. 2019, 1,105 snaps, 72 overall, 82.5 pass, and a 59.4 run. That seems to be his weakness, but he has improved on that, especially over his past couple seasons. So, and then in 2018, 760 snaps, 67.8 overall, 73.5 pass, and a 61.8 run. And so there you have it. Those are my list of guys. Again, whatever it is, 3 or 4 crusty veterans with one veteran who's a little bit younger, just coming off of his rookie contract, and maybe a guy that you could actually have as a staple on that offensive line for a few years if you were to pick him up. Now, Casey's got to let him go. Maybe they'll end up giving him a new contract and he comes off the potential list, right, because he'll get locked up. But definitely a guy I would look into if you are going to go for maybe, and especially because it depends on how you play things, right? If you do end up spending buku dollars at the right tackle, maybe this is a guy you could get as a little bit cheaper, although who knows, maybe he's going to want a, sizable contract because he has performed well. He has stayed on the field, pretty much the entire time. He's been to 3 Pro Bowls already in his young career. So we'll see how all that plays out, but definitely an intriguing guy to look at. All right, and now we hit our centers. Ryan Jensen's probably the top guy, and not just the first one on the list, but probably is actually my top choice if I was going to go center. Yes, he is a little bit older at 31, obviously with a decent cap hit of $10.5 million. And he's currently with Tampa Bay, but I think he would give you tremendous production. And then again, if they were to get a right tackle, left tackle, and center in free agency, let's say you were to get a Terran Armstead, Trent Brown, and a Ryan Jensen. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a fucking dream. Or, maybe Orlando Brown at left tackle or whatever. Like, if you were to get any combination, or Morgan Moses at right tackle, if you're going to get any combination of those guys with maybe a Ryan Jensen at center, bro, what a dream, rebuild for this offensive line, right? Like, that would be fucking fabulous. So, I'd love to see it. Hopefully we'll see it, but, free agency is just a couple weeks away. So, dominoes will fall off the board pretty quickly, and we will find out what happens. So he was only a 6th round pick in 2003. In 2013, 203 overall. He's got 8 years in the league. Started out with the Ravens from 13 to 17, from 18 to present. He's been with the Bucks. He's got 100 career games, 90 started, 6,248 snaps, 781 snaps per year. So hasn't quite stayed on the field each and every year, but his 2021 snaps, he was on the field. So, and the past few years, he's done really well. It was actually just in his early years, and obviously 2013 and 14, he didn't seem to get on the field at all. So, that's actually not even necessarily a bad thing for him, because when you look at his track record, his most recent years, he has managed to stay on the field, right? Whereas and he was a 6th round pick, so it's not really, unexpected to see a guy from the 6th round not play their first couple seasons as they develop and so on and so forth. Anyway, so he's got 14 sacks allowed, which is only 1.75 per year. That's pretty fucking phenomenal. 34 penalties, 4.25 per year. That 1.75 is the best mark we've seen from any of these offensive linemen, left tackle, right tackle, whatever, right? So good there. And he's good at the job. He knows how to play that center position pretty damn well. So his grades do leave a little bit to be desired, but I think you plug him in there, and again, you get one of those right tackles that I mentioned, one of those left tackles I mentioned in free agency with Robert Hunt at right guard and those other schmucks to battle it out for left guard. I think you've done wonders in a single season to revamp this offensive line. So 17 games played last year, 17 started, 1,151 snaps, only 2 sacks and 5 penalties, and he did make the Pro Bowl this year in 2021, actually his first time as well, but he did make the Pro Bowl now for his first time, and he is a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 55. Obviously, it was with the Bucks in 2020. As for his grades on that 1,151 snaps, he has a 70.3 overall, a 61.7 pass blocking grade, and a 76.7 run blocking grade. 1,061 snaps in 2020, a 65.8 overall, 50.1 pass, and a 75.8 run. 1,139 snaps in 2019, a 79.3 overall, 85 pass, and a 73.6 run. 1,116 snaps in 18, 56.6 overall, 70.1 pass, and a 53.8 run. 1,085 snaps in 2017, 72.3 overall, 66.7 pass, 72.4 run. 273 snaps in 16, 64-6 overall, 73-6 pass, and a 62 run. 423 snaps in 15, 62-1 overall, 57-8 pass, 70 run blocking grade. And his first 2 seasons, 2013 and 14, he didn't register any snaps because obviously he was a young guy taken in the 6th round and they didn't think he was quite ready. So there you have it. We now do move on to our next guy, Matt Paradis from Carolina. He's in void years of his contract. He's 33 with about a $9 million current APY. Here are his stats from the immeasurables from Combine and so on and so forth. He was also a 6th round pick, 207 overall in 2014. Got 7 years in the league. 14 to 18 he was with the Broncos. 19 to present with the Panthers. 98 games played, 98 started, 6,567 total snaps, 938.1 per year. So has managed to stay on the field basically for a full load each year. 13 sacks allowed, 1.9 per year. Pretty good there. And only 13 penalties, 1.9 per year. So he is pretty disciplined and performs well in those categories. 2021 stats, he's got 9 games, 9 started, 568 snaps, 2 sacks, 1 penalty allowed. And he is a Super Bowl champion from 2015, which is Super Bowl 50. As far as his grades, he's got a 66.9 on that 568 snaps from this year. He's got a 66.9 overall, 53.6 pass, 69.9 run. In 2020, he had 1,029 snaps, 63.4 overall, 65.4 pass, and a 59.6 run. In 2019, now his grades have dipped a little bit in recent years, but he has shown some pretty good consistency, and I think he'd be a solid guy to plug in at that center position. In 2019, 1,094 snaps. Did I do that one? 63.4 overall, 43.8 pass, 71.8 run. 569 snaps in 18, 81.4 overall, 78.6 pass, and an 80.7 run. 2017, 1,128 snaps, 74.9 overall, 80.1 pass, and a 68.9 run. In 2016, he gave you a couple elite grades here, right? 1,073 snaps and 90.2 overall, 82.7 pass, which is close to the elite mark. 83 is where I would transition it over, and a 90 is a 90 run blocking grade. In 2015, 1,106 snaps, 74 overall, 71.5 pass, and a 71.6 run. And he as well did not play any snaps in his rookie season of 2014. All right, now we move on to one of our final guys. I think he is my last one to take a look at here. So Ethan, I'm gonna try and take a shot at this dude's name. Pocic? I'm sorry, I'm gonna fuck this up. This is so bad. Anyway, you get it. From the Seattle Seahawks. He's 27, so a little bit younger than these other guys. He is in some void years of his contract. Void years, just remember, are additional years added to the end of a contract when they give a guy an extension in order to spread out some of his some of his money, the cap hits over those years to make him a little bit cheaper. They usually do that when they restructure a guy, actually, to be a little bit more clear. Anyway, he's got and he is cheaper, $3 million current APY. Here's his measurables and stuff like that. He was a round 2 pick, 58th overall in 2017. Got 5 years in the league, has spent all of it with the Seattle Seahawks. 57 games played, 40 started, 2,558 snaps, 511.6 per year, 9 sacks allowed, 1.8 per year, 12 penalties, 2.4. So needs to stay on the field a little bit more. And be more consistent in that regard, but good with his sacks per year and his penalties per year, keeping that pretty low. In 2021, he had 13 games played, 10 started, 600 snaps, 2 sacks allowed, 1 penalty. And as far as awards, he did get a Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team nod in 2017 during his rookie season, even though his grades weren't very good, according to Pro Football Focus. But in 2021, he had 600 snaps, 67.3 overall, 43.8 pass, and a 76 run, 900. And who knows, maybe with this, Matt Applebaum guy, maybe they could get a little bit more out of him if they decide to go with a veteran that's a little bit cheaper, a little bit younger, but has a little bit more work to do, right? 2020, he had 932 snaps, a 62.4 overall, a 60.5 pass blocking grade, and a 61.9 run blocking grade. In 2019, he had 91 snaps, just a few. 43.3 overall, 61.7 pass, and a 44.5 run. In 2018, he had 296 snaps, a 45.9 overall, 47.1 pass, and a 50 run blocking grade. And in 2017, on 639 snaps, he had a 50.4 overall, a 50, pass blocking grade, and a 52.9 run blocking grade. So, woo, boom. It's a lot of stuff, man. It really is. And I mean, God, it took me so much time to put all this stuff together. And as you'll see, I mean, as I go through position by position by position, man, it's like this for every single one. And it was a ton of data and information to compile and put together, but I did it. I put in the work. It was a lot of fun, even though it got to be some late nights and stuff like that, but it was a lot of fun doing it all. And, you know, this is how I can intend to continue doing this each and every year, as long as I continue, you know, putting out content on my channel. So, you know, it was good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my look. This is my final look at potential free agents for the offensive line. This is left tackle and center. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And like I said, man, like, I would love to see my ideal scenario, like complete dream scenario, would be either Trent Brown at right tackle, Terran Armstead, or Orlando Brown at left tackle with Ryan Jensen at center. Oh my God. But, you know, there was Ali Marpet actually just decided to retire in Tampa Bay. So, you know, that's going to free up some cap space and stuff for them. And who knows, maybe they end up, you know, paying Ryan Jensen and he stays in Tampa Bay. So, you know, and then obviously taking him off the table for us. But that would be a dream scenario for me, like absolute dream scenario. Trent Brown at right tackle. I'd be fine with, like, you know, Morgan Moses or whatever, right? But like Trent Brown at right tackle, either Terran Armstead or Orlando Brown at left tackle, with Ryan Jensen at center, and then obviously Robert Hunt at right guard, and then one of those other schmucks to battle it out for left guard. And then Nakobe Dean with 29th overall pick, either Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Walker, or Breece Hall with the 50th overall pick in the second round, and then get a wide receiver in the third round. Oh my God, dude, I'm telling you, that's absolute dream scenario. I'd be so pumped if we could navigate free agency in the draft like that, bro. And my optimism would certainly increase for this upcoming season. So let's hope it plays out like that, man, because I think that would be some really good stuff for this Dolphins team and this organization, and really help to actually for once push us in the right direction. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Before I get out of here, make sure you check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like, they got it. And they're looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself, while also providing you with an arena to dispute all of the terrible officiating. So look for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro, as well as on Instagram at Dolphins_with_Dillon. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.
7 seconds left. Tannehill will throw it. And this will end it after the shuttle. Taken place here in South Florida. The Dolphins have done it. They keep their season alive. 69 yards. Wow. Pure joy. Miami wins it.